Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to create this cute looking character, or how to even draw cute faces and how to paint them, or in other words how to create stylized portrait or character and how to paint them. So I'll be giving you guys timestamps down in the description, so just move ahead to the part that you want to see the most. Also, this is a stylized portrait kind of style where I am creating a character. So in this video, just don't worry about the proportions that we usually consider while we are drawing portrait. Just ignore those and go ahead, experiment, go crazy, go creative. So without any further ado, let's just get started. Okay guys, so to start off with, I'm just going to construct the face, and I'm using software brush just to create this basic rough sketch. Now, few tips right here just to create a really stylized looking character or portrait. You should keep in mind, if you want to make it look cute, then keep in mind that the forehead or the head should be bigger, the eyes should be bigger, and the nose should be really small, button-like, and the lips should be also small. So as you guys can see, these are the areas for the head, and also the nose and the lips are going to be close to each other. So I just create this really basic kind of structure where I create this V line just underneath the whole big circle. So you can just follow this technique to create the face or the portrait, and you can just go ahead and play around with your own art style. So basically what I'm doing is once the basic sketch is ready, not the basic sketch but the basic structure for the whole portrait is ready, in the new layer I actually enabled drawing guide, symmetry drawing guide, and so that I'm not really wasting time creating eyes on the other side. So that's something I really like about digital art, that you can use so many tools and which saves a lot of time. So apart from that, as you guys can see, the eyebrows are really thick and the eyes are really big, and as you go down on the face is really small. And as you guys can see, the nose is really close to the eyes. That's because I just want to make the whole face appear cuter. And similarly, the lips are going to be close to the nose and they are going to be really small. So I'm not going to be making those ducky lips, and I just like small lips, and small but fuller. That's how I go about it. Now I know the head looks crazy, the whole face looks crazy like an alien, but that's okay. We'll be making changes here and there and it'll look perfect. So here you don't really have to worry about the proportions, the head proportions, things that we care about while we are creating a portrait, because this is a stylized portrait. And when we are creating a character or stylized portrait, you should not worry about those things, because you should just be creative with what you're doing. You can just make the head bigger, you can make the nose bigger, the lips bigger, whatever you want to do. So don't worry about that, and experiment with it and see what looks good. So as you guys can see, I created the head, making sure, following the guides that I have, following the circle that I have around the whole head, and also I'm creating the hairstyle. So again, just go ahead and experiment with it. And I was not really able to decide what I'm going to be doing with the hair, so I was kind of confused and experimenting with it, but at the end I actually got a hairstyle. So just experiment and just be creative with the whole character or the portrait. So yeah, that's what I'm doing here. I'm just going to be creating or completing the whole hairstyle. So here I just disappeared the layer, the structure, basic structure layer, and I'm completing the hairstyle. And for some reason, the eyes appeared as if they're so far away, even though it looked good, even though it actually looked like a character, but I decided to go ahead and kind of make them closer to each other. So just select that area and shift the eyes wherever you want to shift it. So that's how you do it. And yeah, I'm just going to be jumping on to the next clip. Here you want to fill up every shape that you have on the portrait. So fill up the skin, the hair, the eyes, the lips, and once we have that ready, we'll be going ahead and shading those. So for filling it in, I'm using syrup brush from, I think, inking brush set or maybe calligraph brush set. Whatever it is, just find out and just start filling it in. You can use any brush that you want, doesn't really matter. So once everything is filled up, you're ready to start and shade. It is looking really scary, but that's okay, it'll be fine. And as you guys can see, the eyeballs are really big because I just wanted to add this cute factor to the face, even though it looks kind of creepy and demonish right now, but don't worry, I'll be fixing that. So to paint eyes, what I basically did is I actually colored the iris with the base color that I wanted, and then I went ahead and selected a lighter version of that color and added that color right in the middle using soft airbrush, making sure I'm putting less pressure onto the screen so that I really don't have to go ahead and blend it out. Now that gives a really nice looking depth to the iris. And again, then I went ahead and add the pupil and the little white dots, which represents the highlight or the shininess of the eyes, if that makes any sense. So yeah, and once that is done, just go ahead and do the eyeliner. It is not necessary, you can just avoid it, it'll look better and cuter, but I went ahead and did that, and I'm not using black color, I'm just using a really deep dark maroonish color to do the eyeliner. And once that is done, what I'm basically doing is I'm just filling up the white part of the eye, not using the white color, I'm just using kind of really a grayish kind of color, really light grayish with a little bit of pink in it, and I'm filling that part in with that color. And I'll be also shading that part with pink, maybe a darker pink color, just to, you know, give it some depth. Now once that is done, I'm gonna go ahead and create the eyelashes. And for eyelashes, I use technical pen from inking brush set, and I do have an in-depth tutorial on eyelashes, so go ahead and watch it, you don't want to miss it at all. I just go in depth on how to create eyelashes, so go ahead and watch that. So I created eyelashes, now I'm creating eyebrows. Again, I do have tutorials on eyebrows as well, you might want to check out. So before you even go ahead and create the character or go ahead with this tutorial, just go ahead and watch those tutorials on eyelashes and eyebrows if you don't know how to create those are really helpful. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just using that technical pen, and I created those hair-like strokes on the eyebrow part of the face. And once I have that, I don't really care about them being perfect initially, and then I just go ahead and pick up blending brush, and in the blending brush I use softener brush, and I just go ahead and blend those out completely. Now what it does, it just gives a base for the hair-like stroke, and also it fills up that area. That's the first base, that's the first layer. And then in the next layer you want to do the similar thing, you want to just add more hair strokes using the technical pen, but this time you don't really want to blend it out completely, you just want to blend out the starting point of the hair stroke, making sure that the brush size is small, the blending brush size is small. Just blend the bottom part of the hair and just lightly blend the upper part of the hair as well, so it will give a really bushy effect to the eyebrows, and that's how I created. But still, I just recommend you guys to watch the whole tutorial that I have on my channel. Okay, now that we have the base for the eyes, I'm just gonna go ahead and start painting the face. So I'll be giving this palette to you guys down in the description, even though I do have in-depth tutorials on skin shading and many tutorials actually you might want to check out. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just picking up a color which is darker than the base color of the skin with orange undertone, and I'm adding this color where I think the shadows must be. So this is going to be in the first layer, we'll be building those shadows as we move ahead. But in the first layer, just use the darker version of the base color with orange undertone. Now once you have that, once you're happy with those shadows, with the base shadows, create a new layer. Now pick up a darker version of the skin color, but this time make sure you are using a color with pink undertone. So I'm using that color and just going over the shadows I created on the base using a orange undertoned color, and I'm adding this color over that. and I'll be adding a darker maroonish color also to create more shadows on the face. Now again, I just recommend you guys to watch the skin shading tutorial, and the reason why I use different undertones while I'm painting the skin is because your skin is a combination of different undertones. Okay, so if you just use one colors from one undertone, the whole face is gonna look kind of ashy and not lifelike. There's no life on the face, and nobody wants a lifeless face, and people are confused why my portrait painting is not looking good, why does it look ashy and stuff like that, because you don't use colors from different undertones. So here I'm just adding more and more shadows around the cheekbones and under the lips, and just around the neck area as well, in all the ears as well. So yeah, just keep in mind, just a quick summary: in the first layer, use a darker version of the skin color with orange undertone. In the next layer, use with a pink undertone, and just create a balance of both. And also make sure you are actually keeping a balance between soft shadows and highlights and harsh looking shadows and highlights, so that it's not looking, you know, washed out or anything. It's not looking blurry or anything. So keep a good balance between the both. But do watch the tutorials, because I do go in depth about skin shading. So once I'm happy with the shadows, I am in a new layer. I am actually adding blush, and for that I'm using soft airbrush. I actually use soft airbrush for the whole painting, but I also use soft blend from airbrushing brush set. I really like that brush. I recently discovered it. So for the blush, I'm actually adding it on the cheeks and also on the nose as well. Also the area around the lip looked really bright, so I just went ahead and used a slightly darker color than the skin color, and I added that color around that area because it was looking just too bright. And here I'm just shading the lips using soft blend from airbrushing brush set. I really love that brush. I do have a video on that brush and why I like it. You should go ahead and watch it. And yeah, I'm just using that brush and adding shadows accordingly, and also making sure that the mouth area where the two lips, where the upper lip and the bottom lip are meeting, and just making it darker. That's what I do. I just use, to make it dark, I don't use black color. I use dark maroonish color when I'm painting skin. I don't use black because it's just too much to use black. So just go ahead and use a dark maroonish kind of color. And here comes my favorite part, which is highlighting. I really love highlighting. I usually go ahead and create with 2 different layers, but in this painting I actually just did the highlighting in just 1 layer, and I did not blend it out. I wanted really harsh looking highlights as Blue Satan does. I really love how she highlights her portraits, so I decided to kind of go ahead and try that out. So I am just adding this white color and like dots of it. Also, if you are actually painting a darker skin tone, do not use white color. Use a lighter skin color, because white would just look too much on a darker skin tone. So don't use white. But if you're painting a skin tone which is lighter, just use white color. That's what I'm saying. So I'm basically adding this on the tip of the nose, on the lips, on the cheekbones, on the forehead a little bit, and also on the iris and around that area as well, just to give it a really dull kind of look. So that's what I'm doing. I also added a bit of highlight on the bridge of the nose as well, and just don't worry about it being, you know, if it is blended or not or whatnot. Just go ahead and add the highlights and make them look harsh. Let them look harsh, you know, it looks cute. So that's what I did here. And I'm now going to start painting the hair, and for that I'm using this brush that I downloaded, and I do have a video on that, on hair brushes that I downloaded for free. and you can actually download those instantly, so you might want to check that video out as well. So I discovered so many good hair brushes there, so just go ahead and check that video out. I'll be linking all the videos down in the description. So I'm just using that just to create more hair strokes on the hair. You can even use technical pen from inking brush set to create hair strokes and just to paint hair. That's what I usually do, and I usually just use technical pen from inking brush set. Also, I'm not going to go into detail about how to paint hair, how to do that, because I already have a lot of tutorials on painting hair. I have tutorial on every little thing, so check those videos out and practice. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm just shading and painting hair. And okay, in a quick summary, what I basically do is I just create a base for the hair and I just add the base color for the hair. Then I just start enabling the alpha lock. I start shading the hair, adding depth, adding shadows to it, adding more strokes to it. And then once everything is looking good, once every shadow part of the hair is looking good, I just go ahead and pick up light pen from Luminance brush set. And I make sure that the size of the brush is small so that it's not too much, and I start adding hair strokes using that brush. Now, the reason why I use that brush is because it just adds lighter hair strokes to the hair. It looks really good though. So that's what I do that, and I just go ahead and blend those light looking hair strokes out with the blending brush, making sure the blending brush is really small in size so that when I'm blending the hair strokes, those are blended in the hair-like structure only, and not like everywhere. And once you are done with the hairstyle, what you want to do is you want to create a new layer just above all of the layers. Change the layer mode to multiply, pick up the skin color or a darker version of that, and start adding that color around the area where the hair and the skin are kind of meeting together, because we do want to create some sort of shadows when the hair is on the face. You don't want to leave that out like that. And I'm really sorry guys, I just zoomed out of the canvas. I just zoomed out the canvas so much because I don't know what I was doing. I was just adding the shadow, and I usually just zoom out the canvas so much. I don't know why I do that. Just let me know if you do that too. I don't know, it just feels comfortable. It just feels, it makes the process quicker. I don't know what it is, but I just do that, and I'm extremely sorry for that because you guys cannot really see what I'm doing right here. But basically what I'm doing is I'm just adding the shadows in that multiply layer mode. So that's what I'm doing here. And once everything is looking perfect and nice and cute, what I did is I just went ahead and picked up this brush called Freckles from Calgary's brush set. I don't know how to pronounce the name. Also, again, I do have a video on that, on those brushes, on those skin brushes. I'll link all of them down in the description. I'm adding freckles on her face, and also once I'm done with that, I'm just decrease the opacity of the layer just because it was too much. And you're done. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give this video a big thumbs up, share it with your friends, and if you do create this character, or if you do create something out of my tutorials in general, then tag me on Instagram. I actually go through each and every one of you, and I really appreciate when you guys create something and send it to me. I really love it. So do that, and I will see you guys in the next video.